President Donald Trump's big comeback rally in Tulsa was supposed to be the ultimate kickoff to MAGA season and a return to the exuberant Trump rallies of yore, except that it wasn't. Now, the campaign on Friday before the rally boasted of being able to easily fill the 19,200 seat box center. And of course, the reality turned out to be super, super sad and pathetic. According to the Tulsa Fire Marshal, only about 6,200 supporters ultimately occupied the general admission sections of the venue, which of course had enraged the president, as he had to look out upon this. Sad. But hey, look, social distancing, right? They know how to socially distance, at least. I mean, I guess it's hard not to when there's not that many people, but anyway. So, according to NBC News, Trump fumed at his top political aides on Saturday, even before the rally began, after his campaign revealed that 6 members of the advance team on the ground in Tulsa had tested positive for COVID-19, including Secret Service personnel, according to a person familiar with the discussions. Trump had asked those around him why that information was exposed and expressed annoyance that the coverage ahead of his mega rally was dominated by the revelation. Okay, so realize he's not mad because the 6 members of his team got sick. No. He's mad that it got reported, that it actually went out to the news, that people know that, oh, right, turns out that place not exactly safe because of COVID-19. And also because he thinks that it hurt his attendance. Attendance that was incredibly hyped up by the campaign, especially campaign manager Brad Parscale. So now, in fact, the campaign was so confident about high turnout that it set up an overflow area that never got used. It was expected to attract thousands of people, but the plan was scrapped at the last minute when only dozens gathered at the time the vice president and the president were set to address the crowd inside. That is, of course, deeply embarrassing. Super embarrassing. Leading one Trump ally to remark, quote, "It's politics 101. You underpromise and overdeliver." And in this case, you had the complete opposite, which of course is 100% Trump. You guys remember, originally when Trump came out, he didn't have adoring crowds and fans. He had to pay people. So he had to pay people, and then then it caught on. It went from inorganic paid people to organic, and now we're basically back to if he doesn't pay people, people don't show up. That's what that is. Now, you of course had Parscale on Twitter saying that over 1 million people had registered. And hundreds of thousands of people, they're going to show up. They're going to show up. We find out, of course, that a lot of the people that registered, a decent number of them, were TikTok Zoomers and K-pop stans, which is awesome. According to the New York Times, TikTok users and fans of Korean pop music groups claim to have registered potentially hundreds of thousands of tickets for Mr. Trump's campaign rally as a prank. After the Trump campaign's official account, @Team Trump, posted a tweet asking supporters to register for free tickets using their phones on June 11th. K-pop fan accounts began sharing the information with followers, encouraging them to register for the rally and then just not show up. That trend quickly spread on TikTok, where videos with millions of views instructed viewers to do the same, which is fucking hilarious. So, look, Zoomers, any of you watching, you can dunk on millennials anytime you want. You guys get a free pass because this was beautiful. Nailed it. I used to get annoyed that every trending topic, right, on Twitter was dominated by like K-pop videos, right? I'd be like, geez, man, I just want to get to what people are saying about this. Now, you know what? I don't have a problem. Keep doing your thing, you beautiful bastards. K-pop stans. Love it. That is one reason, of course, very few people showed up to Donald Trump's rallies. The rest, of course, could be fears of coronavirus. Turns out that whole thing is real. And the fact that there's no enthusiasm for President Trump anymore. Trump is deeply unpopular. And so nobody, I don't think a lot of people are really going to want to show up. And so now that has the president actually incredibly shocked. Like, he's like, oh my God, why are people not showing up? This is supposed to be a great rally. It's supposed to be my comeback rally. Now, according, again, to the New York Times, Trump, who had been warned aboard Air Force One the crowds at the arena were much smaller than expected, was stunned, and he ended up yelling at aides backstage while looking at the endless rows of empty blue seats in the upper bowl of the stadium, according to 4 people familiar with what took place. And I already showed you that picture. Parscale, interestingly enough, was not present. That's probably a good thing, right? But again, here's the thing about Parscale, right? He's just using Donald Trump. He's making bank off doing a job and doing it very, very poorly. And so he's going to, continue to make a lot of money as long as he's in that job, and then siphoning it off for himself to buy himself like fancy suits and fancy cars and all that stuff. And then if he gets fired, he's going to be like, see you, loser. He's going to go write a book. Watch. That, I swear that'll happen. But at the end of the day, man, this is kind of the perfect beginning to what is probably going to be a very sad and pathetic Trump campaign. I mean, his reelection is in a little bit of peril. Not to say that people shouldn't, of course, get overconfident. But again, we got a perfect storm. Coronavirus, economic disaster, obviously the looting and pillaging from the taxpayer to the rich and the corporations, all of this stuff. And the fact that nobody likes him. He was deeply unpopular when he was elected, and he's even more unpopular now and losing broad sections of his base. He's in deep, deep trouble. And I think he's starting to catch on. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know how I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.